You hear about billionaires all the time, right? But have you ever stopped to really truly wrap your head around the sheer scale of their wealth? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're running a little thought experiment, but trust me, it's pretty eye-opening.
Yep, that's the big question. We're going to take the mind-boggling fortunes of America's absolute wealthiest individuals and imagine they just decided to share it all with everyone. So what would your slice of that pie look like? Let's find out.
Okay, so first things first. Who are we even talking about here? And, how much cash is actually on the table? We're going to start with the top 5 wealthiest people in America, using the latest real-time data from Forbes.
Kicking things off, we've got Elon Musk, the guy behind Tesla and SpaceX. He starts our massive wealth pool with a staggering $483.7 billion.
To that, let's add Oracle's Larry Ellison. He brings another $388.5 billion to our growing pot. We are climbing fast.
And next up, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, casually throwing in another $264.2 billion. These numbers are just wild.
The pile just keeps getting bigger with Amazon's Jeff Bezos. He's adding his $240.4 billion to the mix.
And rounding out our top 5, Google co-founder Larry Page tops it all off with another $208.9 billion. So, okay, there they are, our 5 contributors. All right, now that we have all those individual fortunes, it is time to add it all up. What happens when we combine every last dollar into one giant pool of wealth?
So, what is the grand total from just these 5 individuals? Honestly, the number is almost hard to even say, let alone comprehend. $1.59 trillion. Not billion with a B, trillion with a T. That's a number with 12 zeros. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's more than the entire annual economic output of a country like Switzerland, from just 5 people. It's crazy.
And the plan for our experiment is to split this entire amount evenly among every single person in the United States. And according to the latest census data, that's roughly 342.6 million people.
So this brings us to the big reveal. We have the total wealth, we have the number of people to share it with, so let's do the math and see what your personal cut would actually be.
Okay, get ready. After all that buildup, with trillions of dollars on the line, what does it actually boil down to for you, personally?
$4,629.78. Now, don't get me wrong, that is a nice chunk of change, for sure. But is it what you expected from a $1.59 trillion pot? For a lot of us, it's probably a lot less.
So, what does this number actually mean in the real world? Let's put that, say, $4,600 into perspective.
Well, to start with some immediate context, your payout of about $4,600, it wouldn't even be enough to wipe out the average American's credit card debt, which is sitting at over $6,000 right now.
But that's not to say it isn't useful money. It could be almost a 10% down payment on a new car, or 18% on a used one. You could buy 2 brand new MacBook Pros. Or, thinking a little longer term, it's enough to pay off a pretty big chunk of debt, start a solid investment in an index fund, or give your retirement account a nice boost.
But hey, before we finish up here, let's take this one step further. We've only looked at the top 5 billionaires in the US. What if we included all the billionaires from the entire world? Okay, this is where the scale just becomes truly mind-boggling. If we took the combined wealth of every single billionaire on the planet, that's about $16.1 trillion, and just for this comparison divided it among the US population, your payout would leap from about $4,600 to over $47,000. That is a tenfold increase, and it really just shows the massive, massive difference in the scale of wealth we're talking about.
Of course, this is all just a hypothetical. Billionaires aren't about to liquidate everything and start handing out checks. But the exercise is, I think, a really powerful way to understand the sheer scale of modern wealth and what these enormous numbers really mean when you stack them up against our own financial lives. It really makes you think, what does a number like $1 trillion actually mean?